The roots of American society trace back to the early 17th century, when European settlers began establishing colonies along the eastern seaboard. These early colonies, such as Jamestown, 1607, and Plymouth, 1620, were driven by various motivations, including the pursuit of economic opportunities, religious freedom, and political autonomy. The interaction between European settlers and Native American populations was marked by both cooperation and conflict, fundamentally altering the social landscape. During this period, the colonies developed diverse economies based on agriculture, trade, and industry. The southern colonies relied heavily on plantation agriculture, supported by the labor of enslaved Africans. In contrast, the northern colonies developed more diverse economies, including small-scale farming, trade, and early manufacturing. This economic diversity laid the foundation for regional differences that would become increasingly pronounced over time. The American Revolution, 1775 to 1783, was a pivotal event that fundamentally reshaped American society. Fueled by Enlightenment ideas and growing dissatisfaction with British colonial rule, the colonies united in their quest for independence. The Declaration of Independence, 1776, articulated the core principles of liberty, equality, and self-governance, which would become central to American identity. The post-revolutionary period saw the establishment of a new political framework with the drafting of the Constitution, 1787. This document created a federal system of government, balancing power between the states and the national government. The Bill of Rights, 1791, further enshrined individual liberties, reflecting the revolutionary commitment to protecting personal freedoms. The 19th century was marked by rapid territorial expansion, driven by the ideology of manifest destiny, the belief that Americans were destined to expand across the continent. The Louisiana Purchase, 1803, the annexation of Texas, 1845, and the acquisition of territories following the Mexican-American War, 1846 to 1848, significantly increased the nation's size. However, this expansion also exacerbated tensions over slavery, culminating in the Civil War, 1861 to 1865. The war, fought between the Northern Union states and the Southern Confederate states, was primarily over the issue of slavery and states' rights. The Union's victory led to the abolition of slavery, 13th Amendment, 1865, and significant social and economic changes during Reconstruction, 1865 to 1877. Reconstruction was a period of significant progress for African Americans, including the establishment of the Freedmen's Bureau, the passage of the Civil Rights Act, 1866, and the ratification of the 14th and 15th Amendments, granting citizenship and voting rights to former slaves. However, the end of Reconstruction saw the rise of Jim Crow laws and the establishment of a racially segregated society, particularly in the South. The late 19th and early 20th centuries witnessed the rapid industrialization of the United States. The rise of factories, the growth of railroads, and the influx of immigrants transformed the American economy and society. Urbanization accelerated as people moved to cities in search of jobs, leading to the growth of urban centers like New York, Chicago, and Pittsburgh. This era, known as the Gilded Age, 1870s to 1900, was characterized by significant economic growth and the accumulation of vast fortunes by industrialists like Andrew Carnegie and John D. Rockefeller. However, it was also a time of stark social inequalities, with poor working conditions, low wages, and the exploitation of labor, including child labor. The labor movement gained momentum during this period, with the rise of labor unions and strikes advocating for better working conditions and fair wages. The early 20th century saw the emergence of the Progressive Era, 1890s to 1920s, a response to the excesses of the Gilded Age. Progressives sought to address social injustices and economic inequalities through reforms. Key achievements of this period included the establishment of child labor laws, the introduction of the income tax, 16th Amendment, 1913, women's suffrage, 19th Amendment, 1920, and the regulation of monopolies through antitrust laws. Progressive presidents like Theodore Roosevelt and Woodrow Wilson championed these reforms, advocating for greater government intervention to protect workers, consumers, and the environment. The Progressive Era laid the groundwork for the modern welfare state and established the principle that government has a role in addressing social and economic issues. The Great Depression, 1929 to 1939, was a severe economic crisis that had a profound impact on American society. The stock market crash of 1929 led to widespread unemployment, poverty, and social unrest. In response, President Franklin D. Roosevelt implemented the New Deal, a series of programs and policies aimed at providing relief, recovery, and reform. The New Deal expanded the role of the federal government in the economy, establishing Social Security, unemployment insurance, and labor protections. It also created public works programs to provide jobs and stimulate economic growth. While the New Deal did not end the Great Depression, it fundamentally transformed the relationship between the government and the American people, laying the foundation for the modern welfare state. The end of World War II, 1945, ushered in an era of unprecedented economic growth and social change. The post-war period, known as the American Century, saw the United States emerge as a global superpower. The GI Bill provided veterans with access to education and home loans, contributing to the growth of the middle class and the suburbanization of America. However, this period also highlighted significant social inequalities, particularly regarding race. The civil rights movement of the 1950s and 1960s sought to end racial segregation and discrimination against African Americans. Landmark achievements included the Brown v. Board of Education decision, 1954, which declared segregation in public schools unconstitutional, and the Civil Rights Act, 1964, and Voting Rights Act, 1965, which outlawed discrimination and protected voting rights. The late 20th and early 21st centuries have seen continued social, economic, and cultural transformations. The information age, marked by the rise of the internet and digital technology, has reshaped the economy and society, creating new industries and changing the way people work, communicate, and access information. At the same time, American society has become more diverse, with significant immigration from Latin America, Asia, and other regions. This diversity has enriched American culture, but also posed challenges regarding integration and social cohesion. Economic inequality remains a pressing issue, with debates over the best ways to address poverty, healthcare, and education. The 2008 financial crisis and the COVID-19 pandemic have highlighted vulnerabilities in the economic system and prompted calls for greater government intervention and social safety nets. Social movements, such as the LGBTQ+ rights movement, Black Lives Matter, and the #MeToo movement, continue to advocate for equality and justice, reflecting ongoing struggles for civil rights and social change. These movements have sparked national conversations about systemic racism, gender equality, and social justice, leading to legislative and cultural shifts. The evolution of American society is a testament to the nation's capacity for change and resilience. From its colonial beginnings to its current status as a global leader, the United States has undergone profound transformations, driven by economic, social, and political forces. The ongoing challenges and opportunities faced by American society reflect its dynamic and diverse nature, underscoring the importance of adaptability and commitment to the core values of liberty, equality, and democracy. Thanks for watching. Do subscribe to our channel, Sociopedia.